The morning had a quiet magic, the kind that settles in your bones and tells you something unforgettable is about to happen. I stood at my daughter's doorstep, the crisp autumn air wrapping around me like a familiar blanket. Today, I wasn't just a grandfather, I was Noah's entire world for the next 12 hours. My daughter and her husband were off to a weekend-long Reddit-style storytelling convention, eager to lose themselves in fictional chaos and raw human emotions. Meanwhile, I was stepping into a story of my own, one I hadn't planned on, but would never forget. As I walked into their warm living room, I spotted Noah in his crib, cooing and flailing his arms like a little conductor orchestrating his private symphony. He saw me, and in that split second, his face lit up like the first sunrise after a storm. I scooped him into my arms, and just like that, the world outside disappeared. It was just me and him. I had babysat before, but today felt different. I couldn't shake the feeling that something deeper was unfolding, just beneath the surface. Noah and I moved through the rhythm of the day, bottle, burp, diaper, nap. Each routine moment carried a strange weight, as if time was asking me to notice it more. During his first nap, I sat on the couch and let my eyes wander to the family photos on the wall. One in particular caught me, a black and white photo of me holding my daughter when she was just about Noah's age. The years had collapsed into a single breath. I was seeing myself in both frames, as the young father and the aging grandfather. I felt something stir, something quiet yet seismic. By early afternoon, the weather turned golden and warm. I decided to take Noah for a stroll to the nearby park. Pushing his stroller under fiery maple trees, I felt a kind of peace that only nature and a sleeping baby can provide. But peace is often the prelude to something unexpected. That's when I saw him. A boy, maybe 10 or 11, sitting alone on a bench, sobbing into his hoodie. His entire body heaved with every breath. I couldn't walk past him. "Hey, buddy, you okay?" I asked gently. He looked up, eyes red and swollen. "I lost my puppy," he whispered, his voice breaking. "I was supposed to watch him. My mom's gonna kill me." I felt a lump in my throat. I couldn't help but think, what if this was Noah one day? Scared. Alone. Desperate for kindness. "Let's find your puppy," I said, parking Noah's stroller nearby. For the next hour, the boy, Alex, and I combed the park. I kept glancing at Noah, still napping peacefully, as if trusting me to do the right thing not just for him, but for someone else's child too. We were almost ready to give up when we heard it, a faint bark near the playground. We sprinted over and found a tiny golden retriever tangled in some bushes. Alex burst into tears, hugging the dog like he was his long-lost brother. Thank you," he kept repeating. I didn't say much, I couldn't. My heart was full and breaking at the same time. We walked him home, and his mother answered the door, panic turning into stunned gratitude. "Thank you for bringing him home," she whispered, holding Alex close. Most people wouldn't have bothered. I returned to the park, retrieved Noah, and sat on that same bench for a long while. He was awake now, looking up at me with those ancient, knowing eyes babies have. I told him the whole story, quietly and softly, as if he understood every word. Maybe he did. Maybe kindness has a frequency that even babies can feel. That evening, my daughter and her husband returned, animated with stories about the convention. "You wouldn't believe the kinds of things people write," my daughter said. "So raw. So real." I smiled, thinking of Alex, his lost puppy, and the way Noah had slept through a rescue mission that had healed a part of me I didn't know needed healing. "Sounds like quite a day," I said. But I knew. My story, the one I hadn't expected, was just as raw. Just as real. But something stayed with me. I couldn't sleep that night. I kept thinking about how easy it is to change someone's day, maybe even their life, just by being present. I thought about my younger days when I was always in a rush, always focused on work and bills and deadlines. How many people had I walked past, just like I almost walked past Alex. The next morning, I woke up before sunrise and made a decision. I began volunteering at the local animal shelter. Every Friday morning, I bottle-fed kittens, walked dogs, and played fetch with animals that had known too much pain and too little love. Each time, I saw the same look in their eyes that I saw in Alex's that day, the look of someone silently pleading, "Don't give up on me." Noah grew. So did I. Every week with him became a journal of small moments, watching his first steps, hearing his first giggle, watching him learn to say my name. I wasn't just babysitting anymore. I was rediscovering my own humanity. I was living a second chance, not just at parenting, but at being fully present. Years passed. Noah was 5 now. One day, after picking him up from preschool, we stopped by the same park. We sat on the bench. He looked up at me and said, "Grandpa, did you ever help someone here?" I was stunned. "Why do you ask?" I replied. He shrugged, "I don't know. It just feels like something happened here. Something good." I smiled through the tears. "Yes," I whispered, "something very good." That night, I began writing down the story. Not for fame, not for a blog, but for Noah. I wanted him to know that every act of kindness we offer shapes the world in ways we can't always see. Maybe one day, he'll be the one stopping to help someone. Maybe he'll remember the stories I told him, not the ones I read, but the ones I lived. And maybe, just maybe, that's how real stories work. Not the ones shouted into the void of the internet, but the ones passed quietly from one heart to another. Not for claps, not for clicks. Just for love. Because in the end, the best stories don't end with, "happily ever after." They end with something far more powerful. They changed someone's life.